Hello, welcome to the WeCrochet Facebook page and YouTube channel. How is everybody today? Come on in, say hello, tell us where you're watching from. We have a special guest today. This is a little different than normal because we've got something to announce and we get to be part of it. I mean, it's not really our project, but we're teaming up with the designer, which is always so much fun. We get to share the excitement with you and tell you all about it. And hopefully you're going to love it just as much and join in too. So I'm seeing some people starting to come in. Hello, welcome. Great to have you here live. Hi, Mandy. Good to see you. It's always great to have you live. If you're not live, it's okay. Watch us on the replay. Oh, I'm going to knock over my stuff. Watch us on the replay. You can still put questions and comments in, whether you are live or whether you are watching the replay, and we will do our best to get back to you as soon as possible. We now have the wonderful Isabel who is here, and she is doing all of our comments and things after the fact. So we kind of watch when it's live, but if anything's later, she's checking it. She's letting us know if there's questions and then we're able to answer them. Hi, Maria from Montreal. Hi, Christina. It is so great to have you guys here. So welcome, welcome. Before we get started, there's just a couple things I want to make sure you guys know about before we jump in as people come. Number one, last time we talked about the mystery bags, right? And how we brought those back. We got new stock. Guys, the worsted weight is sold out. You cannot get the worsted weight anymore. It is done. I've got 3 of the fingering weight bags left when I checked like an hour ago. So hopefully they're still there. But we've got 3 of those left. And we only have about 20 left of the sorry, I think it was the acrylic that sold out. We only have 20 left of the worsted weight merino. You'll see it on the website, but there's very little left. You will not be able to get them the same way exactly again. And we did see a review of the mystery bags, and there was kind of a question of, is every mystery bag the same? Yes. So you don't know what's in it, but if you buy it, you're going to get the exact same bag as anybody else who's making a purchase. So if you're getting more than one of the same thing, you're going to get the same thing twice, which sometimes is fine because then you'll have multiple balls of the same piece. But just so you know, they are all the same. Hi, Allison from Austin. I bet it's really warm there. We are cold. We got some snow last night, but it did melt, went away right away. So we didn't have to deal with all of it. But yeah, our guest is also from Texas and enjoying that warm weather that you guys are all having. So I think that was everything that's going on right now. Trying to think what else. I don't know. I should have wrote down more things, but that's okay. Hi from Denver. Good morning. Oh, I bet, is there snow in Denver right now? I don't know. I'm not looking at the weather. Kind of ignore it till the morning of when I have to take the kids to school. So Maria said she managed to get a fingering weight bag and loved everything in it. Yay! So hopefully you guys grab those last ones. We will be doing mystery bags or something again. Not going to be the same that you get this time. We're going to mix it up. We're going to see what we can put in it that next time. So that's what's going on. Okay, without further ado, stop making you wait. Say, Katelyn, be quiet. We want to talk to the guest. Here she comes. Today we have Rebecca. Let me bring her in. Hi, Rebecca.
Hello.
How are you today?
Doing well, thank you.
Great. So Rebecca is here because she has a brand new crochet along that is launching this week. And guess what? She decided to use our yarn. Like, how exciting is that? I don't know. I get excited when designers want to use our yarn, especially on crochet alongs and these wonderful projects. So we're so excited about this. I hope you guys get excited about this. Last year, we partnered with a year-long crochet along and did a blanket. And we're doing it again this year with Rebecca. We didn't start in January. We're starting in March. You're still going to go through December. You've still got blocks along the way, a little bit different of a cadence to it and everything. I think you're going to love it. From what I've seen so far, it's been absolutely beautiful. And we want to make sure you guys know about it for the launch so you can go ahead and jump in. Before we talk about the crochet along, let's just welcome Rebecca. She's new here. She's never been with us on the live. So Rebecca, can you just tell us a bit about how you learned to crochet and maybe what made you transition into a business for crochet instead of just doing it for yourself?
Sure. I learned to crochet as a kid. Like most everybody, my grandma taught me.
Yeah.
both of my grandmothers crocheted, and I used to spend a couple of weeks with them. And one time I just asked her, I'm like, can you teach me? And she said, sure. And so she taught me how to chain. And then she would like do this until it wraps around the house. And so I would do that. And then she would rip it out and say, okay, do it again. And I'm like, all right. And and so I would do it again and she'd rip it out. And so we went through that whole thing until it was perfect. And
Yeah.
she's like, and now we can start. And so after, all the house wrapping, she taught me, and I've just, I did it off and on all through teenage years, and then had kids, and it kind of dropped off. And then when she passed away, all of her stuff was given to me because I was the only grandkid that learned how to crochet. And I picked it back up again, and it's just an obsession.
Yeah.
So I started, and
Hey, we all understand that. We're all obsessed. That's why we're here. We can't handle not having yarn and hooks in our hands. I mean,
it's one of those things that if you forget your project bag, no, we're turning around. You can't.
Yeah.
It's not, or you're going to find a store along the way. But
yeah.
So I started that, and then that was, gosh, years ago. Way back in the early days of the internet forums of, finding your community.
Right.
And from there I started, within a forum, I started doing test crocheting and sample making. And I was like, I could do this. And that's when I started designing. So
That is awesome. I love hearing those stories because, I don't have that, I don't know, like bug inside of me to go and design. I love crocheting. I always have my yarn. I always have a hook. I've always got something going on. Okay, let's be honest, like 5 somethings going on.
Oh yeah.
But the whole designing from scratch has just never been something that has enticed me. So I'm so glad there's people like you that are out there that want to design things from scratch so that I can make them and make them look beautiful too. So thank you.
It's all about the challenge. It's like seeing something and going, could I?
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
So here we are today, and we have an announcement about the new crochet along. And so the crochet along is a blanket crochet along, and it's going to be running throughout the year. So could you tell us a little bit about the yarn that you chose to use for this crochet along?
Okay. I am using the upcycle. Oh, is it going to be backwards? So I'm using the alpaca
right
blend.
way.
Do what?
It's showing the right way.
Oh, excellent. Excellent. So it's the upcycle alpaca blend in the worsted weight. It is fantastic. It is going to be the most luxurious, like amazing blanket. I love it.
Well, we love the yarn. So we should say that this yarn is not rated machine washable.
Right.
Okay. So it is a hand wash item,
Yes.
but we don't tend to wash our blankets that much anyway. Well, at least in my house. Maybe that's dirty, but
no,
it's just the way that happens. Unless something gets on it.
The other thing that the way that I'm looking at this is I am spending a whole lot of time on this blanket, and for it to be as like luxe and luscious as this is, I mean, that's just, it's a bonus, I guess. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
I'm going to be spending literally a year on putting this together. And so with it being this luxurious product at the end of it, I mean, it's just, I don't know, for me, it's something that is going to work. I mean, I understand that some people will want to do something that is going to be more washable, and that is perfectly okay and wonderful. But for me, because it's going to be taking so long and I'm putting so much effort into this, for it to be as luxurious as possible is icing. So
I do want to say before we move on, please everybody go and share this video, go and share Rebecca's website so they can all join in on the crochet along as well with us. You can get different yarn as a substitution, but we should say that the upcycle worsted is a lightweight worsted.
Yeah.
So you do want to be careful when you're picking something. You want to make sure it is a lightweight worsted, or even looking into a DK, depending on how you crochet, that might be able to work out too if you don't want to go with this one. And, I love this yarn because it is a blend. It's a blend of the merino, it's a blend of the alpaca, and it's a blend of acrylic. So if you're an acrylic only person, this is a really great gateway into trying out some of the other fabrics, because you're still going to have a lot of the principles, or the properties, I should say, not principles, of acrylic yarn. And the really awesome thing about this yarn is the mill that we get it spun at takes the bits of leftovers and puts them together to make this yarn. So not only is it a great blend that you're going to work with, but it's also basically recycled. It's upcycled, because we're taking the scraps of something old and making it something new. And it's really a gorgeous yarn. And I think we talked about this before, maybe not, maybe it was somebody else, but the colors too are very kind of heathered because of this blend. The dye does not, each of the fiber types does not take the dye exactly the same. So it gives you this really nice, soft, heathered look to it that is just absolutely phenomenal. And the gradients that you can get in the yarn line is amazing too. So let's talk about that, because when we're talking about blankets and we're talking about picking colors, it can always be a little overwhelming. And so what do you suggest based off of these squares? Should we be looking to stay away from super dark colors, super light colors? Does it matter? Can we do tonals? Should we have contrast? What types of tips do you have for picking colors for this particular project?
Okay, so what I chose to do for this is because there are 12 squares, we'll be making 48, 4 of each of the individual 12 designs. But the way it's put together is it's going to be square 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, all the way up. And then it will switch 2, 3, 4, 3, 4. So what I've chosen to do is I'm starting with a very light block. And then the next, and in fact, I think it's the lightest one, it's the parchment.
Yes.
And then square 2 is the darkest one, the obsidian. So I'm going light, dark, and then the next one over to the right of the lightest one is going to be another dark one, which is I'm going to be using night sky, which is the second darkest. So that's the way I'm doing it, is I'm going light, dark, and then dark, light. So it's going to be checkerboard across. So the lightest all the way to a medium tone, and then the darkest all the way to a medium tone. So it's checkerboard, but it's kind of also sort of fades. It's going to be, I put it all together in like a little spreadsheet, and it looks really nice. So I'm very excited to start seeing them build. But so that's the way I've chosen it, is light and darks, and then all the way to medium tones.
Great. And we should say that the squares are like a mystery, because you don't know what the squares are until they come out each time. And so, you always have that option. You don't have to make 4 of the squares in the same color. You could make it in different colors. You could kind of do it however you want, but know that there's going to be 48 squares, and you could start color placement of what you want to do. And then that's kind of what you work each of your squares in. So that's also an option to look at.
In the PDF, actually, there is a blank page that has the squares. So you can print that off and color them in to do your placement that way too. So
yeah, I love that. We should say that the pattern is going to be exclusively sold through WeCrochet. So that's the only place you're going to be able to get it while the crochet along is going on. Or you can reference Rebecca's blog, which we will get that over to. Oh, Marley's here. She's sending you some love. We love you too, Marley. But so you can only get the pattern on WeCrochet for right now, and then it'll transfer over and you'll be able to get it all of the places. And I do want to say too that we are going to put a link in here to Rebecca's website, or blog, I should say, that's going to give you all the information, and there's going to be a coupon code there. So you're definitely going to want to go check that out so you can save on the yarn that you're going to need for this project. there is a question from D. How big will the final blanket be?
It's slightly oversized from a throw. It's going to be 6 across and 8 down, and each square is 10 inches. So it'll be 60 by 80. So it's a little oversized, but it's not as large as like a twin size blanket.
Right. And plus, the great thing too with the squares is you can adjust it. If you want it smaller, then only make, 2 or 3 of each, or make 3 of some and 2 of another, and just kind of play with it. Once you know that you're getting the 10 inches, you can really customize it in any variation of 10 inches to make it the width and the height that you want. You can make it like a king size blanket. You're just going to have to make more squares than what the pattern calls for. So, and again, that's going to require different yardage. So just keep that in mind if you go and you switch to how many squares you're going to use.
Right. So we did talk about the squares all being a mystery.
Yeah.
The one thing though that I am making certain of, excuse me, in making the squares for is that they are all going to be solid. So you're not going to randomly have like a lace square somewhere in the middle of the blanket. So that is something else for you to know when you're making it is at the end of it, we are going to come out with a solid fabric blanket. Each one of the squares is going to be, well, it's not lacy. So
do you want to share the first square?
I can.
Okay, let's share.
I happen to have it here with me.
Oh, how lucky.
So this is the first one. And so this is what I mean by a solid fabric. So each one of them is going to be, and this one has a great texture to it. So really,
right,
really
I'm just making you bigger here so everybody
Okay,
can
sure.
see it. And I love this too because you're really learning so many different stitch
Yes.
patterns throughout this blanket. You're going to be learning so many different things, but you're not that you can't do this, but you're not just making like washcloths. You're not just making swatches. You're going to do something with it at the end, have a wonderful blanket. And I love it so much. And I know too, Rebecca and I were talking about this, that because of the way she has it planned, you can change it. You can do what you want. But the way she has it planned is it's like 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and then it's going to go 3, 4, 3, 4 in the next line. So you can really be sewing these together as you go. You don't have to like wait to the end to be able to get all of your squares positioned if you're following along with the way Rebecca's doing it. You can do it however you want. So please don't feel you can't. But that's also a great thing because, once you get all those squares done, sometimes it's like that second sleeve or the second sock. Yeah. You're just like, I'm done with this for now. And it sits in timeout.
Yeah, I don't want them lingering in any baskets anywhere. Definitely not. So I personally will be sewing them together as I go along, because that's the other thing too is honestly, the reality is this is going to end in December. And in December, everyone is in gift mode. Most people are in gift mode and getting things together or hosting for the holidays or traveling or whatever it is that we all do in December. So I will be joining mine as I go because I just don't want to have that also to be done in the month. So.
And we should say the last square comes out the beginning of December. Yes, so very beginning. This would make a great gift for somebody too, that you could start working on now slowly throughout the year. If you're seaming it together, you'll have this beautiful blanket in time for the holidays, whichever holiday you are celebrating, that you can go and gift it to somebody too, if you wanted to do that. So
absolutely.
Yeah. I will say too, we're going to be putting a link in. It's just not quite live yet. We're getting it live today, and we'll put it here in the comments, and we'll share it on Facebook and everywhere else. There is going to be a page on our site that you can go to purchase the pattern. Also on that page is going to be an email sign up. That email sign up is going to put you on a special list that every time a new square comes out, you're going to get notified. It's going to say, hey, the next block, the next square is out. Click here. And you will be able to re-download the pattern because it's going to be updated in your account. So when you make a purchase, you do want to make sure you're creating an account on our website, and that account just holds your pattern. That's all it's doing for you, is it's holding that pattern so you can continue to keep updating it and downloading the new version as we go along. If you do sign up for that, just a caveat, you will be put onto the WeCrochet email list. I was blanking on what we call that there. And you're going to be going on to Rebecca's list as well. So you'll get updates of other things that are going on. If you're already signed up for both of our newsletters, this is something different. You have to sign up for this specific list if you want to get the updates. If you don't care about the updates, then that's fine. You can just set your own reminders to get your new square. That's fine too. You're still going to get the updates, but we're offering you a little added bonus that you don't have to remember it. And we will send you a reminder when each of the squares go live. Let's see. Jen is saying that's so beautiful. What a fun stitch pattern. So that was talking about the first one. If I don't sew, hold on. This one is from Deborah. If I don't sew as I go, I end up finally sitting down to do it and finding that 3 blocks have wandered away. Yes. That does happen. You think you're putting them all in the same place and all of a sudden, yep, we're remaking squares. So yes, that is always also a bonus of adding them while you go.
Especially if you have a cat or two hanging around. Yep.
Yes.
I've had things go missing. I'm still missing a sock. I know my cat stole it somewhere. But yeah, I'm not a sock knitter, but I have knit a couple of pairs, and one of the sock is just I haven't thrown out the other one though. It's gonna show up one day. I know it will.
It'll show up somewhere along the line.
It was the cat.
We should say that the first square starts this week. So we're getting all of the links out today. You're going to start seeing it all over social media. So you can go ahead and purchase the pattern. You can start getting your yarn. And also, because of the way the cadence goes, that it's like every 24 days-ish of the new square, you have time that if you miss out on one, you can catch up. If you're waiting to order yarn and you can't start exactly this week, you'll be fine. There's time to get you caught up and to kind of put it in there as we go. So I love that too, that it's not like it's a square every week and you're trying to like really keep up with it.
Yeah.
You have some time to be able to actually make the pieces and get them going, even if you are working on another project, because let's be honest, who does one project at a time? Not me. I don't know.
Yeah, the first one, it's not particularly hard. I mean, it has like this great texture to it. It's just a really good stitch. But it's not going to be difficult. And the first ones did work up really quickly. So if you don't get started right away, then it's not going to be an issue catching up. And actually, even the second square doesn't take a whole lot of time to get those together either. So yeah, I mean, miss them, you can work them out. And I think they only took a couple of hours each. I know that feels like kind of like a lot, but yeah, I think they probably took about 2 hours each for the first one.
Nice.
So if you're trying to calculate that.
Yeah. Mandy has a question that she's looking at her stash. Would Brava Sport work, or would that be too light? I think it actually might work out if you swatch it, because Brava Sport is like a thicker sport and Upcycle Worsted is a thinner worsted, that it might balance out depending on what you're doing. You might just have to change your hook size and just see if you like what the drape is on it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, mine is going to be 60 by 80.
Right.
If yours turns out to be, slightly smaller, it's ultimately it's a blanket at the end of the day. So, I mean, if I'm using 5.5 millimeter, these are my great little dots hooks. Love them.
They're soon back. They're soon back.
So that's what I'm using for these. But again, if in making the squares, if they turn out to be, an inch smaller or whatever, you just would adjust the height so that it's square. But it's, like I said, at the end of the day, it's a blanket and it doesn't.
It's forgiving. It's forgiving. It's not a garment that has to fit perfectly. It's forgiving. It's all good. Exactly. Speaking of those dots hooks, I just thought of this. Now, please don't leave. Don't leave. Come on, we're still talking about good things. When we're done here, go over to our Instagram page for National Crochet Month. We are having a giveaway of one set of dots hooks. We had a set to be able to take photos. And we said, you know what? We're going to give it away to one lucky person because we know they've been sold out for a while. They are coming back. Hopefully end of March, beginning April, sometime in there. We'll keep you posted on that. But you can go win our one set that we had for photography and everything else. So you can go check that out over on Instagram and enter to win that. Just thought I'd plug that because I don't know, everybody that's gotten the dots hooks keeps telling me they love them. I love them. So I just want to share that with everybody. Everybody should have a dots hook set.
I absolutely love them. And honestly, I got it to start making this blanket. And then, but I already have 3 different ones in 3 different project bags.
Yep.
All over my space because I really do enjoy them. So
yeah, when they come back, I'm getting another set because you need one. You need one for like every project that's going on. And usually they always use up like the same hook size. And so, you just have to have multiple sets. It's okay. Yeah, Chris says she loves dots hooks too. I know she was one of the lucky ones to be able to get the dot hooks when they were first there. Mandy says, I'm intrigued by the dots hooks, mostly for the smaller sizes included in the set. Yeah, we don't go down to steel hook sizes as of yet. We are working on getting different sizes of the dots hooks, so we'll see how that continues to go, but it is just like the standard set of 9 hook sizes right now. So yeah. So anyway, that is the new crochet along. Do we even tell them what the name of it is? I can't remember.
No, I don't think so. It is Edgemerc.
It is the Edgemerc Cal. And so we'll be posting all of the links for you to go ahead and purchase the pattern, find out the supply list, join in. Is the one thing I didn't ask you, is there a specific group or a place where people can go as they're working on it to kind of share their progress?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I made a Facebook group for the Cal specifically, and it's just called Edgemerc. So it's
awesome.
You can find it that way on Facebook.
Is that
I've got a link to it on the website, and that page will go live today. And there's also a link to it on the Revel Crochet Facebook group, and so there's going to be links to the Facebook group everywhere. So yeah.
Awesome. Sorry, I needed a quick little drink there. I don't know. My throat always gets dry when I'm doing all the talking, and it's just what happens. And the dry air, and it's anyway. Thank you so much for joining us today to share about this. Don't forget to go and check out excuse me, Rebecca's website, where you'll find all of the materials that you need, a special coupon code. You'll be able to start purchasing the pattern, and you'll be able to join in the crochet along. So thanks so much for joining us, and we hope you all love it. If you have more questions, put them in the comments, and we will get back to you soon. Bye, everybody.